Hi, this is Jeffrey Elliot from Bōzt, here with something to boast about, our weekly or semi-weekly podcast talking to the restaurant industry, talking about restaurants we love and talking to restaurants we love. It would come as a surprise to most people that my favorite barbecue in America isn't necessarily in North Carolina or Kansas or Texas or those usual places you expect to find great barbecue, but it's in Boston, Massachusetts. And that is because of my friend Andy Husbands and his barbecue team, the IQ barbecue team, who brought the first Northern team to win the Jack Daniel's World Championship of Barbecue. Andy Husbands is the owner of 4 current restaurants right now, all called Smoke Shop BBQ, the former owner of Tremont 647, which was open for 20 years, was it?
21.
21 years. I'm counting. 21 years is a great achievement. The author of 6 amazing books, 4 of them or 5 of them on barbecue?
3 are really on barbecue. One's on like grilling, one's on burgers, and then kind of one's kind of a home cooking.
Does that count the one you wrote with Joe Yonan?
That's the Fearless Chef. That was the first one that came out.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. So Andy has survived during this pandemic with 4 restaurants. In fact, opened up one of the restaurants in October of last year, deep in the thick of it. I'd like to get to know a little bit about how you adapted to make it through, what changes you had to make, both to your routine and your restaurants, and how you see the future moving forward.
Wow, that's a giant question. I'll try to. When we shut down in March, the governor shut us down. It was kind of a relief because when you're rudderless, you don't really know where you're going. It gave us a kind of a hard stop, and we were able to reset. We quickly touched base with all our team members, and I'm sad to say that a lot of them were not able to collect unemployment for whatever reason, and so we quickly reopened doing pop-ups, basically providing barbecue 1 day a week, selling it through the interwebs, through Instagram, Facebook, and people would come and pick them up. Really worked on our protocols, really worked on our safety. And we're just talking, me and a couple guys did this, and we were able to take all that money, 80% of it, and give it to our team members so they could live. And really, in the beginning, that was the focus, is just to make sure everybody was able to survive, pay rent, eat food, whatever they needed. We wanted to make sure we were there for them. At the same time that we had a lot of conversations about market presence, and we wanted to make sure that we were relevant and that we were, in the front of people's minds. And just posting pictures of what we did do wasn't enough. We knew that we wanted to actually, be cooking. What we do, we provide, especially barbecue, it's like a taste of home, it's a taste of summer. We wanted to give people that feeling, along as, as a business person, stay relevant. And what I did is worked with my teams. I have an unbelievable team here, and we worked hard to make sure to be ahead of the game. We knew when we were going to be able to open up outside. We knew when we'd be able to open up inside. We wanted to be ahead, a couple of weeks ahead. Teams retraining, teams getting back, to working. It was a challenge because, we had to talk to our teams and say, look outside. It's not like a snowstorm that's going to melt. It's going to look the same, but it's going to be different when you come in. Really, really focused on safety and customer satisfaction. And in fact, safety kind of had to become part of hospitality. While hospitality had a little bit of safety, let's make sure people don't just do much, don't trip, those kind of things. It became a greater responsibility during the COVID time. Just challenging the teams to really focus on, what we do and how we do it. And, I'm really proud of what we've done. And when I talk about market presence, I should just say that because so many restaurants shut down or didn't decide to not open or open, only in a little bit, when they would go on whatever online third-party delivery platform or go to our web, we would be one of the choices. We received so many first-time diners through We partner with DoorDash. They're great partners for us. And so we were able to get more first-time dining. That's my belief is let me get my product in your hand and then you can make a good decision. So it was really for us an opportunity to continue and grow. We've been around it for a while, 5 years now. It was our first one, and it was a great opportunity. I don't want to gloss over it. It was very challenging. It was very nerve-wracking. After Thanksgiving, after Christmas, I think we all were very, very worried. We knew gatherings were happening. We knew what was happening, and we just really focused to make sure that everybody was safe and ready to go.
Yeah. And nobody expected it to be, here we are a year out. And I just want to cut in here and Andy and I met probably about 15 or 16 years ago through an organization called Share Our Strength, which now goes by No Kid Hungry. And I just want to say that Andy is one of the most generous chefs of his time, of his talent, and of his resources of any of the chefs I know. And it came as no surprise to me that, first and foremost at the beginning of this, your focus was on making sure your employees were surviving, you could keep them on, and that they, were getting paid.
Yeah. And in the beginning also, when we took P2P, the first round, we paid people that weren't going to come back in the near future. We knew that, but we were able to say, hey, listen, for this time period, we're going to pay you, get on your feet, figure it out. And I'm proud of that. I'd also like to say we partnered with Joanne Chang of Flower Bakery during our pop-ups. So she has a strong presence. When we combined together, we were really, we were selling her stuff, selling our stuff. It was a really cool process. I've known her through Share Our Strength also, No Kid Hungry, and she's just a wonderful person to partner with. That was very rewarding.
So what have you learned that you see, there's a lot of talk of the new normal is that we're never going to be back to where we were, but how do you see the future of, not the whole industry, but of your restaurants?
Well, what we're seeing is customer confidence coming back. We're at capacity on a weekend. When we talk capacity, me and my team members and I built a bunch of dividers so we could have more people in-house, plexiglass dividers. So we're at capacity. So we're seeing that the demand, which is great. I think probably the same thing that everybody thinks is that, takeout, delivery will maintain. It was 4% for us before delivery. I think it now can be up to 40, 50%, depending on the day, depending on the weather. I think it will drop down to probably, my guess is 20, 25%. I don't believe customer confidence is going to get back to normal until 2022, but we're projecting 70, 80% in September. So, and again, as a business person, we're always going to project low and high.
Speaking of delivery, do you work with any of the companies that ship out of state, like Goldbelly or any of those other companies? Because I'm always craving your ribs.
We'd like to. We've sent in an application, but haven't heard back from Goldbelly. But we certainly would do that. We've been working on that, but I've also been working on this spring we'll launch our own spice rubs, selling them online. Our own barbecue sauce, selling that online. So things like that, which has been a demand for. So yeah, we're working on all that. I've had time for side projects, so I've been just keeping busy.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know, Andy's also one of the judges on the great show Fire Masters, which is, I usually describe it as a combination of Chopped, Iron Chef, and Beat Bobby Flay, like all combined with your 3 rounds.
Yeah, but let's be clear, the Chopped part, there's no goopy ingredients. You're not cooking with, gummy bears. It's a great show. We didn't tape this past year, obviously for COVID, but this coming fall we'll tape again. It's a real fun show, and I love it. I fly to Canada. I taped it for a couple of weeks.
Oh, where do they shoot in Canada?
I'm spacing it right now. give me a second. It'll come to me.
All
But
right. And I was going to say, for those of you watching, we'll put a link to Fire Masters. We'll put a link to Andy's restaurants. We'll put his social media, because if you ever want to have, drool-worthy food porn to watch, follow Smoke Shop's Instagram. And we'll put links to get Andy's books. His first barbecue book, which is sadly, I just found out went out of print, is like my Bible. I guess Pitmasters will be my new Bible. But I've everything I've made from one of Andy's cookbooks. People tell me this is the best thing I've ever tasted. When I made Andy's ribs, they're like, these are the best ribs I've ever had. When I made Andy's sauce, this is the best sauce I've ever had.
Thanks. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's sad that We Can Good Barbecue's out of print. That was the first barbecue book we wrote. I wrote that with Chris Hart, Andrea Pennington. Pitmaster, though, it's really cool because we talk about regionality of barbecue. We have a lot of guest essays in there from Stephen Reichland, Bill Durney, Sam Jones, all people around the country. If you like barbecue, you'll know who those people are. Of course, Amy and her father, who used to be Mike Legend Mills, who was a mentor of mine. It's just a really great book. And then my latest book, Backyard Barbecue. Fun fact: if you're going to release a book about large party cooking, don't do it during a pandemic. Probably.
Probably not. Yeah, not well thought out in that marketing plan.
But we didn't know. We wrote it a year before, right? And it comes out, and it's all about like parties of 5 and 10. Here's how you make barbecue. Because the truth about barbecue, this is what I love about barbecue, is it's the friendliest food, right? Yeah. Nobody cooks, unless you're nuts like me. Nobody cooks a brisket for themselves.
Right. It's scalable. It's very scalable too.
Well, but it's also like you do this process for a group, right? Like you cook a brisket, a 15-pound thing turns into a 9-pound, 8-pound brisket that you share with your friends. And it's like this labor of love that you go through for family gatherings, graduations, any kind of celebration. So that's what that book's about. It's an amazing book. It's really, really great. Just, as Yogi Berra said it, if not for bad luck, I'd have no luck at all. But no, I'm just kidding. It's a great book, and it's been selling well. But Pitmaster is insanely successful.
And I think backyard barbecues are coming back. I think it's coming back quicker than, probably restaurants will come back. That people will start gathering at home, especially as the vaccine is going out. And thank you for meeting with us today. I know you just said you got the vaccine yesterday, and I imagine you probably don't feel 100%.
I feel all right. My arm really hurts. I'm telling you, that second one's like a doozy, like a bruise. But I'm good. I'm good. A little tired.
Yeah, I got my shingles vaccine this year, and it knocked me out, especially the first dose. I was dead for like 3 days. And my arm was sore for like a week. Anyway, so tell me a little bit about, how the rest of Boston is faring. What restaurants are still going strong? What restaurants, are sadly gone at this point? And, where is it that you want to go when you can go out and eat? Where do you want to take your wife and 2 beautiful daughters?
Well, my daughters are 3, so I'm not sure where I'm going to take them. But they're going to be restaurant kids. I'd be remiss not to mention that Eastern Standard closed. Wow. And besides Garrett, the owner, being a good friend of mine, it's just a really important restaurant in Boston. It rebuilt the neighborhood. It's just the service was impeccable, and I'm very
great space too. I remember that room, his big room.
Yeah, I don't want to get into what happened, but what I am proud though that what I see is and we've always known that the restaurant people are gritty. They they got that grit, and so I don't know how everybody's doing, but from what I'm seeing from the people I'm friends with, everybody's finding their path. Some people are just doing like really cool to-go options. Some people are doing gold deli and a little bit of inside dining. Some people are doing as much as they can inside dining, but everybody's been showing their grit. Everybody's showing, hey, we're in this for the long haul. And so, it will be interesting for the future. It'll certainly be a challenge. I went through 9/11. I went through, the stock market crash. I went through the marathon bombings, and this has been the worst. But all of them, provide lessons. And I'll tell you something. What's the biggest lesson or biggest thing that I've noticed is how cool it is to have a great team. And I have just the most amazing people around me, that everybody's, we're able to just really get it going. And it's hard. Like, it was really hard to get it going after the shutdown. And people were scared, and our team, especially our, all of them, the leaders really led. And they showed, hey, we can do this, we can do this safely. Where am I going to take my family? God, Myers and Chang, maybe. I don't think they're dining inside yet. So I love Myers and Chang. Back, Hawks and Knights, of course. I don't know. I just want to go to, Arnold, on the Cape and get a lobster. To me, I just want to go out.
It's great. This weekend, I took my kids out. I have two sons, and we went out to get a pickup at our favorite pizzeria in Philadelphia, Pizzeria Bedia. And we're surprised when we got there and saw that they were seating people inside and outside. And we were lucky and able to get an outdoor seat and sit down. And it felt just great being in a restaurant again. It was exciting and it was great. And I agree with you. Chefs are gritty, and what I think is that they're able to adapt. And I think those that were able to adapt and that were able to find alternate revenue streams, be it anything, books, TV shows, alternate forms of delivery, ghost kitchens. Those people are the restaurants that are still around, and it's those that were unwilling to change or to modify their thing that may have fallen to the wayside, sadly. But you needed to move on. Well, thank you.
You're right. I just wanted to say though.
No, go ahead.
The main reason a restaurant would close, in my opinion, no facts here, is that the landlord was unable to be bendable. And I don't want to make the landlord the bad person here.
No.
Just imagine if you owned a piece of property and your children were going to college on that rent, and it's a tough decision, and so everybody had their own decisions to make. We were fortunate enough to have awesome landlords who really helped us.
Yeah, and that's an unsung hero in all of this, is that a lot of landlords have been, not all, but a lot of landlords have been very flexible and have been helpful, and realize that if they don't help the businesses, there won't be any businesses left to rent their space anyway. So they did what they had to do too, and they showed that grit and that flexibility as well. All right. Well, I know you're busy, and I want to thank you for taking your time. Can you turn your camera around and show us a little bit of the space? No?
Not really. I'm kind of like, not really. I mean, if you can see, there's the cow wall. I don't know if you can even see that. But I'm kind of in a bunch of, kind of in the back area, which is kind of our private dining room. And so we have a lot of dividers in here. We've been doing, small parties with 6 and 10, which we're allowed to do now. So, this is the back. Not a
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being part of the Bōzt community. And I'm sure we have some boasts about any of your restaurants on here, and I'm sure we're going to see a lot more.
Excellent. Well, I hope to see you soon in person.
Hopefully. Thanks.
Come visit. All right. I'll talk to you.